Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today it's time to sit down and have a look at Shiny Treasures EX, and then by extension, Paldean Fates, and figure out exactly how many secret rares there are, and how many of each type. We haven't had the full reveal of the secret rares over in Japan yet. That's going to be happening in the not too distant future. We'll know by the end of next week. There will be a video about it. That video will be a pain to make, but I'll do it because I care about you guys. But we do know enough that we can actually put our hand on a bunch of numbers, and that is pretty gosh darned important. Ready? Let's roll. So we know that the last card in the main set is a reprint of Luminous Energy. We know this for a fact, because Luminous Energy is number 190 out of 190. No questions, no issues, no conspiracy theory, nothing along those lines. We know for an absolute fact that is the last card in the set. There are 190 cards in the set, which means that the first regular shiny Pokemon has to be number 191. Because the regular shiny Pokemon come directly after the set. They're the first secret rares, so to speak. Still following me? Excellent. Because we know what the last shiny Pokemon is. It's Flamigo. And the reason we know for a fact that this is the last shiny Pokemon is because shiny Pokemon in the set are in the same order as they are in the set. And Flamigo is literally the last Pokemon in the set. After Flamigo, we get into the trainers. So we actually know that there are, and this annoys me, exactly 129 regular shiny Pokemon in the set. Because the first shiny Pokemon is 191. We don't know which one that is, incidentally. We know that the final one is Flamigo, which is number 319, which is 129 larger than 190, so we know that there are really annoyingly 129 regular shiny Pokemon in the set. Why could they not have put one more in and made it up to 130? You cannot tell me there is a big difference between having 129 and 130. I'm sure that wouldn't ruin the set, but it would make me happy. I would appreciate that. That would be lovely. So, yeah, that's weird to me, honestly. Don't know why. But we know for a fact that there is 129, because we know that the first one is 191. We know that the last one has to be Flamigo. It's the last Pokemon in the set. Therefore, it has to be the last shiny. We've seen it. We've got the number. It's 319. That makes 129 regular shiny. Beautiful. And if that's the last regular shiny, we know for a fact that the first shiny EX must be number 320. Now, the earliest one we've seen is 321, which is Meowscarada. We know that Meowscarada is 321. We know there is one before Meowscarada, and it is exactly one, no more. Okay, cool. And we actually know what the last one is as well, because we've seen Squawkabilly EX. We've seen it. And once again, we do know for a fact that it is the last one in the set, because Squawkabilly EX is the last EX in the main set list. And like I've said, the shiny Pokemon appear in the secret rares in the same order that they appear in the set, and actually Squawkabilly is one card before Flamigo. The last two cards in the set, the Pokemon at least, are Squawkabilly EX and Flamigo. So we know for a fact that Squawkabilly is the last of the EXs in the set, the last shiny one. And it is number 337, which makes exactly 18, which is a problem. We're going to get to that in a second, but there is a problem with there being 18, and as I've told you, there's definitely 18. We know that Flamigo is the last regular shiny. There literally aren't any more that could come after. So therefore, we know that 320 is the first. We know that Squawkabilly is 337, and I've explained it has to be the last. So we know for a fact that there are exactly 18 shiny EXs in the set. That is confirmed, because we can look at the numbers and see it. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is we have a press release that came around with Paldean Fates. And we know that there are 11 shiny X's in the set in Paldean Fates. And before you start thinking, hang on a second, Wassy, there's 7 missing. No, there aren't 7 missing. But there is 1 missing. Because, of course, we know that some of these shiny EXs have been taken out to be used as promos. This is pretty standard in our special sets. We get the set from Japan, we take a bunch of the secret rares out to use as promos. We know that Meowscarada, Quarquavel, and Skeledirge are being taken out to be put in the premium collections. We've seen them. And incidentally, we know the deal at this stage, all right? We've seen this for several sets at this point. We know that because they're as promos, they're not going to be in the set proper. So that's real, that's fine, that's confirmed. We also know that Charizard, Great Tusk, and Iron Treads are being taken out of the set to be put into tins. So that's 6 extra EXs. 11 in the set, 6 promos, 17. And look, I've shown you my work, and if I've made a mistake, please let me know in the comment section, but it's really not that hard. You look at the last shiny EX, Squawkabilly 337, you take away the last number that wasn't a shiny EX, in this case 319, and you end up with 18. Simple as that. So there is 1 missing, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know where it is, but I'm showing you all these EXs at the moment. One of them's not going to be in our set. Maybe it's going to be a promo. Maybe it's going to be used somewhere else. I don't know is the honest answer. But we have a press release telling us there are 11 in the set. We have 6 promos that are confirmed. And we have numbers in the Japanese set which confirm that there has to be 18 in the set. Now, there is another option here which takes a lot less guesswork. It could be a typo in the press release. We can't completely rule out the fact that there are actually 12 in the set and there's a typo in the press release. Don't rely on that. This is not the kind of thing that usually happens, but I do have to at least, if I'm going to do my job properly here and explain it to you, I do have to acknowledge that, yes, there is a chance the press release has a typo. But I double-checked the press release this morning. It definitely says 11. Cool? Cool. Now, illustration rares is actually nice and simple. We know there's 4. And there's 2 reasons we know there's 4. Firstly, the press release told us there were 3. But the press release, remember, doesn't include promos. It's telling us what's in the set. And we are already aware that we have the illustration rare Mimikyu coming in the Elite Trainer box. So that makes 4. That one's actually nice and simple. What's kind of annoying is I can look at the numbers and I can prove that there's 4, even if it didn't say in the press release like it does. Because we know that Squawkabilly, as previously mentioned, is 337. We know that Judge is 342. And there are exactly 4 cards between Squawkabilly and Judge. 338, 339, 340, and 341. They are the illustration rares. And no, there is no chance whatsoever that, well, hang on a second, what if they're not the illustration rares? Because remember, we've already seen the Pormy and the Palafin in Japanese, and the Pormy is number 340 and the Palafin is number 339. So we got Mimikyu and 1 other, which are taking up the other 2 slots. So with the illustration rares, not only do we know there's 4, we actually know what 3 of the 4 are. Now, in terms of full arts, it's a little bit awkward. Like I say, we've got Judge. I've shown you Judge. It's really awkward with the full arts. I can't tell you very much. We don't have as much information. Like I say, with these, I can tell you that there are definitely 129 regular shinies and 18 shiny EXs, because I've essentially got the start and end, and we can just, see the number. Can't do that with full arts. We've only got 1 full art. What I can tell you is there are no more than 6. I'm not saying there are 6. I'm saying 6 is the absolute maximum number. Because Judge is 342, and incidentally, like I've said, has to be the first one. We know that the special illustration rare Gardevoir is 348. So that leaves 5 spaces between Judge and Gardevoir. 343, 344, 345, 346, 347. There are 5 spaces there to be filled. So I'm not saying they are all full arts, But I'm saying if they are all full arts, that will give us 6 full arts in total. Maybe there are. Maybe there aren't. Sorry. Like I keep telling you guys, I am doing the best I can with the information that I've got. But unfortunately, I am working with imperfect information. Now, in terms of these special illustration rares, we actually know that there's 8. And the reason we know there's 8 is because we were told there were 8 in the pre-release, and we've not used any as promos in English. Now, I suppose there is a chance that there are 1 or 2 missing and there's actually going to be extras in Japan. Wouldn't expect that to be the case. We'll have to wait and see. But that's where we are at the moment. Okay? Cool. We know we're getting Charizard. We know we're getting Gardevoir. We know we're getting Arven. All of those 3 are confirmed. That's the best I can tell you. And again, because we've only got those 3... if there are, by some weird coincidence, actually extras of these, we have no way of knowing. We don't have enough information to really make that determination, so there's 8. Split between supports and Pokemon. We've seen 3 of them. I might have accidentally said 12. I wrote 12 on my notes for some reason, even though I know there's 8. So if I said 12 at any point, 8 would have come up on the screen. It is definitely 8, not 12. Can't remember if I actually said 12 or not, but it's definitely 8. Cannot stress that enough. And then we know there's 6 hyper rare Pokemon EXs. Now, these aren't from the set, obviously, but think like the gold Pokemon from Crown Zenith. That's the kind of thing we're talking about here. Obviously not those. We've already had those. They were in Crown Zenith. But I'm saying that's the kind of thing we're talking about here. Those kind of Pokemon. There's going to be 6 of them. We haven't seen them. We have no idea what they are. But there are 6 hyper rares. That was confirmed in the press release. Weirdly, when we get the press release for the English set, they won't show us any card images. They all get shown off in Japan. But they will tell us how many of each secret rare there are. Kind of. But not give us the full information. It's weird, alright. But that's what I can do for you. Like I say, I've shown you there are exactly 129 regular shiny. I've shown you there are 18 shiny EXs. Which means there's 1 more than we're getting in English, which is weird. And I've shown you there's 4 illustration rare. Up to 6 full arts and 8 special illustration rares split between Pokemon and supporters, of which we know 3. Wish I could tell you more, but actually that is quite a bit. That is a decent amount. And now it's over to you guys. Which supporters do you want to get the special illustration rare treatment? Which Pokemon do you want to come as shiny? Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Unknown One, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.